Rippa in Germantown, Maryland. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. But call me Mo. Mo Better, because I'm going to have you seeing Mo Better, looking Mo Better, and I'm going to show everyone else how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses when I cut the new Transitions Generation 8 brown lenses with Crizal Sapphire for your new, of course, the hard shell case, your RayBan cleaning cloth. Comes a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping. I'm going to put that on there when I ship every brand new frame. So, this is the model number RayBan 3548 in the, put on my light, you ain't going to be able to see it. The color 001, which is gold, which you will see in the 54 eye size. I believe it's also available in a 52. I don't think it's a 56. I think it's 52 and 54. But it has the filigree work going on there all the way around the front, the frame front, and then going down the temples. Great vintage looking frame, the hexagonal. It is hot right now. This frame sells for $153. But we'll get to, I digress. Let me back up. I'm going to take out your original glass lenses and install unbreakable transition lenses. But first, I need to take these lenses out, which means I need a Phillips head screwdriver. Now, I'm going to barcode this shape into the computer, but years from now, should you ever need new lenses, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to need a baking dish or baking pan. Get a t-shirt or dish towel. Put it in there. The reason why, if you drop one of these screws and it hits a hard surface and bounces on the floor, good luck finding it. So a t-shirt will just soften the blow, or a dish towel. I'm going to loosen the temple one, then I'm going to do the actual eye wire screw. Do a little bit back and forth. Now the lenses I cut will be easier to take in and out. These glass lenses have no flex, no give, and they're a little bit harder to take out. And I'm trying to do it where I keep the screws upright. I don't want to do it where they could fall out and hit something. So that's why I have it where it's still facing upward. Out come the original heavy glass lenses, and in go your unbreakable polycarbonate Transitions Generation 8 brown lenses with Crizal Sapphire. Come around, do the same thing on this side. Now, my old days, what I used to do is just take the screws out and take the temples out. I would trace just the frame front while I was working on it. But for the sake of this video, let's keep everything in one piece. Ooh, this ain't easy. Making me work for it. Okay, there's that. Let me tighten all the screws back up. I always like to start with the eye wire screw, and then I'll do the temple screw. And once that's tightened, I'll go back into the eye wire, a little bit of back and forth. Okay, now we got the frame ready to trace. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the tracing element of my blocker. Barcode this shape into the computer. You were secret agent 2221. 2221. Hit the start button. Little stylus is going to pop up. Go around, trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame first before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy any genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase when you submit my receipt. I do not file insurances, but you can file on your behalf and get reimbursed for your insurances or flex dollars. You can also buy just lenses only, of course, too. So, in just a moment, the shape will pop up onto the computer. Come on, pop for me, pop! It's storing all that data. There we go. That is the shape that I'll be cutting. That shape right here. So, we'll move on to the next screen. I have to enter your pupillary distance. 34.5 for the right. The computer starts at 32.5, so I'm going to tap the plus button to get to... Now, someone wrote on there your PD was 34.4. Well, we're going to round that up to 0.5. Let's do an optical center height of, we're going to go up 2.5 to 26. I'm going to write that on there. We're going to do 26, 2.5 above center. because you do not look through the center of the lens, you look through the upper quadrant. So I'm moving the optical centers up to match where you look through. And let's go ahead and get your lenses prep. I can almost tell by looking at them because you have a higher astigmatism in your right eye. Let's just see here. Minus 50, minus 175 at 16. I know that looks like 96, but I know it's 016 because I just wrote it a little while ago. Good thing I can read my handwriting. So, put the power drum. Let's make sure it's on 0, plano. Okay, now put it on minus 50. Put the lens in, rotate until the spherical component comes into view first. That's looking good. Find the optical center. Check your astigmatism correction, which is most of your prescription. I'll explain that a little bit later. Minus 50, minus 2 1/4. That's right. So let's go ahead and put 3 dots on these lenses. Some ink. And let's just darken that one in the center. We're going to label this one R for right. Put that on the platform. Do the same thing now for the second one. Turn the axis wheel to 175. Power drum stays, well, back to minus 50. It was still stuck on your astigmatism correction. Rotate until the spherical component comes into view first. Check your astigmatism correction. Always like to double check everything. Measure twice, cut once. I'm OCD about finding that center. Always like to aim, I can hit the bullseye, but I aim for the center of the bullseye. I also aim to get ink on my fingers while doing this. These 3, well, I'll show you. The pins I use are right here, and they soak up ink. I guess they get in there when I put my thumb on there to press. The ink that comes through those cylinders gets on there. So, but it dries quickly, and then I can't get it off. So, where was I at? Oh yeah, so let me label this one the L for left. Man, I'm getting ink everywhere on these things. Darken those so you can see them at home. And if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Yeah, you knew that was coming. So you know what's coming next. This is a block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got them here. The black side is the sticky side. Line this up onto the first block. Place that on the platform. Do the same thing now for the second one. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Now on the back is a silver button. That is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice. The first time it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there, it tells me that it's oriented and they're just perfectly. So we're going to get everything lined up. The blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. Your eye is just above that and inset. Make sure the lens is large enough, and it is. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the lens that ain't right. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet. Actually, I'm probably going to need to rotate this lens around. I am. So, let's flip this over. You have the same power top and bottom because we do everything on a 180 meridian. So, got to adjust for the PD of 36. Make sure everything's lined up just out of curiosity. The reason why I would normally do it, you can see how the lens is just coming up to the edge. So we're going to flip that over. Get everything lined up perfectly. I've adjusted for the pupillary distance, the optical center height. You can see now the lens is large enough to go for that green outline. And hit the button, the arm comes down, places the block onto the left lens. Now this is what's known as the edger. I'm going to edge your lenses down so they fit. This costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you will need this guy with the inky 2 thumbs to cut them for you. The cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center is going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I'm going to wake the computer up. Job ID number 2221. 2221. And these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that, but we're going to stick with polycarbonate. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens. I'm not going to put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. Press the block on there firmly. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck, or by now you know I like to call it the Charles, just because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Hit the green start button, the door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by 2 wide styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the right lens. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, which will be minimal with your prescription in a skinny metal frame. Now a plastic frame like I'm wearing does a better job of hiding edge thickness, but you won't have much in this. So now your lens, the light you see flickering in the back is water to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high index plastic, and Trivex lenses cut wet, meaning the water sprays onto the lens for the duration of the cutting cycle. Now water will spray onto your lens, but only for the last 20 seconds to wash away the optical debris. Now as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses, the same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel, from flying debris. Now this also has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. They're in Germantown, Maryland. Excuse me. This is permanent, will never need to be reapplied. Now it's just double checking yourself to see where to place the bevel. Now I also want to point out that Rippa wanted to give a shout out to Kia, the mother, his daughter Jaden, his son Tay, which by the way, those are 2 great names for kids, by the way. And he loves everyone very much. But kids, Jaden and Tay, his vision's going to be so good, you're going to have to go farther away if you want to act up. He's going to see you from across the yard, across the house. He'll be able to see around corners with these bad boys on. Now you did upgrade to the Transitions Generation 8 brown lenses. Currently it's available in gray and brown. You also got the top of the line Crizal Sapphire. Crizal is an anti-glare treatment. So there's 3 treatments in one. The first one is eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stop lights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights and such. The second feature is a reflection reduction, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. It makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if you take a selfie, you're less likely to see the phone in the camera, or if someone takes a picture with a flash, you're less likely to see that. The third feature is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating to protect your... The machine that applies the coating costs over $1 million and takes over 24 hours to vaporize the 8 different coatings onto the lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. So here we go, back to the screws. Phillips head screwdriver, starting with the eye wire. Loosen it, starting with the temple screw. Now I'm not taking these out all the way, although that temple screw looks like it wants to bolt. And I'm going to take your unbreakable lens. The glass lenses, I don't want them to chip or break, so I unscrew it further. For these, I can tuck it in at the outside corner using my thumbs. And again, hang on, I'm not following my own advice. Go around, tuck it into the frame. It does not want to go in easily, so I'm going to back this off just a little bit more. Being right-handed, I like to do it this way. There we go. using my fingers to help hold the screws in. Once it is in, turn it back over, tighten the temple screw first, and then go ahead and tighten the eye wires all the way down. And I'm going to finish tightening up. Now this is bad form to screw it in your hand because the screwdriver could slip and you stab yourself. So that same t-shirt, if you have a flat edge, put it on the edge of the table and then use the screwdriver to tighten it down. I have a rubber block here. The reason why I use the cloth or something like that is it prevents a hard surface from ruining the finish of your frame. Once that's tight, I'm going to tighten the temple screw a little bit more till there's a good amount of tension on the spring. Oh, I'm sorry, on the temple. There is no spring on here. Take that off, pull the sticker away, use my hand-approved drying method, throw that back in there, add to my sticker collection. We can come down here and start cutting the left lens. Flip that over to L. The magnet's going to go into the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, or tonight it's being called the Rippa. Alright, Rippa, do your thing. The clamp's going to shut. After the door closes, it's going to be traced again by the two white styluses, going around to make sure that the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. You can follow the guide as it goes around. And then the old saying, measure twice, cut once, is measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel. So you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, and look at that. With your prescription, which is over 2 diopters of total power, you have no edge thickness in this frame. So I'm going to come down here and start what's known as final inspection. Turn the axis wheel back to 16. Put the lens in over that black dot. Read the power, and I am getting minus 50, exactly halfway between 0 and 1 in the red. Plus lenses magnify. Red minus lenses minify. Your prescription is minus 50, minus 175 at axis 16. You have half a diopter of far-sighted correction. You have you're on the second rung of a ladder. Now your lenses, as I mentioned, is the opposite of magnifying. They minify. With your glasses off, everything is much too large. So your lenses will shrink down to the correct size. Now once the image is the correct size, you have 7 steps of astigmatism correction. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. So think of it as the fine-tune knob. We're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 16. A straight line is 0 to 90 to 180. We're going to turn that fine-tune knob to about 16. Let's go ahead and check that second power of 175. And what I'm getting is minus 2 1/4. Going away from 2 towards 3. That's because if someone had borrowed 50 cents and they borrowed another $1.75, they would owe you $2.25. That's where at 2 1/4 in the red. Now, your left eye, same far-sighted correction, 2 steps, half a diopter, because everything is in quarter increments, starting at 0, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. But you only need 3 steps, 3 additional steps of astigmatism correction. You need 7 steps there, 175. This is only 75. And we're going to turn that to 175. So, the fine-tune knob goes all the way to 175 here, 5 degrees away from the 180. You would think 16 and 175 are very different. They're not. You are 16 degrees away from the 180 meridian here on this side. You are 5 degrees away at 175 from the 180 meridian on this side. So really only 9 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon there. 16 and 175. Do you get that? You see what I did? Now this frame, as I mentioned before, the RayBan 3548N, and either size and any of the colors sells for $153. The Transitions Generation 8 adds $99.99. The Crizal Sapphire $139.99 for a total of $392.98 tax-free. Now again, you can get lenses only in the future. Essentially, it's about $100 less. Lenses only for your frame is $49.99. So roughly about, you'd get the frame for $100. So when you consider if you had supplied your own frame, that is. So take this out, dry everything off. Run my thumbnail around to make sure the optical sawdust is gone. Place that there. Grab my screwdriver, lefty-loosey. And for the sake of argument, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and take the screw all the way out. Place that there. That now comes off. That makes it easier to work on the frame. The vintage frames, you had to do this on every single one. Jewelers were the very first opticians. They were used to working with small metal pieces, and they would design their own frames, make their own frames, and do some really nice work. So I'm going to tuck this in the outside corner. When you hear that snap, it goes in there. Start to tighten that screw. Before it is all the way tightened, go ahead and take that temple, put it in there. Now here's what I like to do. I like to take my favorite optical tool, a thumbtack. By the way, this is imported. Comes out of China. They won't let you buy just one. I had to buy them like packs of 50 or 100 or 250. I can't remember. But this is my favorite imported optical tool. So once that is, use that to line up the holes. Then I'm with my fat fingers, take that little tiny screw. Again, make sure you're over this thing. Line it up into that space. See what you made me do? See what you did there? Line that up and then tighten. Go ahead and tighten the eye wire screw all the way. And then I can hold this in my hand to do the temple screw. Make sure the tension is the same on both, and it is. Go ahead and take this block off, pull the sticker off, dry that off. Add to my sticker collection. I can leave that down there. Come do the final inspection on the left eye. Turn the axis wheel to 175. Put it in over the black dot. Read the power. I'm getting -50, exactly halfway between 0 and 1. Check your astigmatism correction. We end up at 1 1/4, going away from 1 towards 2. Again, -50 and -75 is $1.25, so that's where we're at. Your pupillary distance for your right eye is 34.5. For the left eye is 36, for a total of 70.5. I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb on the right lens, not using the inches, using the millimeters. And then when we hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 70.5, so that is perfect. Want to check the optical center height, which is 26. So going to not the bottom of the lens, but the middle of the frame itself. We're going to measure, get 26 millimeters there. 26 millimeters there, so that is cut perfectly. Now, get off of there. This is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that this purchase is tax-free. I point that out now because a lot of people on the internet are having to charge tax. I am in North Carolina. North Carolina considers eyeglasses a medical device. There is no tax on medical devices, so every purchase from me is tax-free, but it also includes free shipping. So, when you get these frames and lenses in the mail, if you put these on, there's there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. Also want to fix that nose pad there. Okay. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set it on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take my RayBans off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Of course, I'm wearing the RayBan. See what he did? Sunglass frame with clear transition lenses. I'm wearing the RayBan 2132 New Wayfarer sunglasses with my transitions and Crizal Sapphire lenses. Can you tell from the color, that blue hue? That's that Crizal Sapphire. Now I have the transitions gray in here, but he's got the transition. I have the Signature 7. He's got the Generation 8 brown. I need to upgrade mine. But let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. All right, flip this over, press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly. And they do, that neither temple is askew like that. Of course, I just did it before tightening the screws. I want to make sure the tension on each hinge is the same. Now I send out a selfie request on the in the package to have your picture on the website. Rippa, I would love to have 2 pictures from you, 2 selfies, one when you're inside clear, one when you're outside showing off the Generation 8 brown lenses. Now, I also send out cleaning instructions not only for your frame and lenses, but for the premium microfiber cloth that I provide. The same instructions for your RayBan cleaning cloth and for your Crizal cleaning cloth, as well as your case, so it too will last you for years. But this is what your lenses look like the first time before they've been activated. I'm going to go ahead and expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. Now, as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken, a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15 to return back to virtually clear. Now, Rippa, pay attention, and everyone else listening, all transition lenses will get dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks they're exposed. After that, they will work for years at maximum performance. Can you see that blue? That is, I mean the blue, listen to me, brown. That is nice in this frame. But they will keep working. As I said, they'll get darker and darker every day for the first couple weeks they're exposed. They'll keep getting darker in this. Come on, Rippa, we talked about this, don't you remember? There are also transitions 7 and 8 will not turn dark in a car. That's the only time. Now, transitions extra active will get about 30 to 50% dark behind a windshield. But if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken. You have to be outdoors in direct sunlight for them to darken. Your windshield has UV protection, and that's why your dashboard does not crack from sitting in the sun all day. That's what prevents your lenses from darkening. Look how nice this Generation 8 is, how quickly it's going back to clear when you come back inside. Now, these are temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. Having said that, the transitions extra active will get, darker in hotter weather. They're designed for extra active people who spend extra amounts of time outside. Now, if you like this video, please then do so. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and click the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as Free Prescription Lenses. You can follow me on Twitter as Free RX Lenses. If you have a question or comment about what I can or can't do, just go to the Contact Me page on the website and email me. You can also leave a question or comment in the comment section below. But Rippa in Germantown, Maryland. Want to give a shout out to loving mom Kia, to daughter Jaden, to son Tay. In fact, if you want to get them in the selfie, that'd be great too. Love to have a family photo on the website. But thank you very much for the purchase of the RayBan 35489, size 54. This is color 001 in the gold. It comes in about 5 or 6 different colors. And now with your transition Generation 8 brown lenses with Crizal Sapphire. And now everyone has gotten a chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.